just start by adding words of welcome to those already expressed on behalf of ICA, particularly to those who have traveled from overseas to be with us this morning at this very special launch of the situation of the report. I want to, at the outset, really commend and congratulate Diane and her team, all those persons who have contributed to this publication. There are many people. There was a lot of hard work, and I think that what we have is a very, very interesting, provoking, and very positive publication. When Diane first shared a copy with me, I found it extremely refreshing because it is a very positive twist and it's put on agriculture. You know, very often we tend to focus a lot on the challenges and the difficulties and the problems. And I think this publication says to us that there's a lot that we can do. This situation of the report is one of the outputs generated under the Caribbean Regional Agriculture Policy Network project which is supported, executed by ICA with financial support from the Technical Center for Agriculture and Rural Cooperation, CTA. And I want to also recognize and say publicly that we wish to thank CTA for its continued support towards the generation of information that helps to inform policy making and so on. CTA is a partner and we really intend to continue to build that relationship. As many of you will be aware, we have in the past produced a situation outlook reports. In fact, at the global and hemispheric levels, FAO, UNFCCC, ICA produced state and outlook reports for agriculture, situation outlook reports, which have largely been targeted at the technicians, the policymakers. But this report, this document, seeks to also appeal to the imagination of other stakeholders in the sector. And as Dan indicated, we need to continue to find that balance between meeting the information needs of policymakers, but also encouraging and providing information that would allow people who have an interest in agriculture to send positive messages about the sector and to also get involved directly in agriculture. The issue of the importance of agriculture is something that Dr. Chesley referred to. Agriculture does not have to be sexy, but agriculture is important. The latest FAO report, the one for November, refers to the fact that food import bills will pass the $1 trillion mark for the first time by this year, and that food prices continue to increase, and they're having a significant impact on the poorest countries as well as the low-income food deficit countries. And FAO is projecting, and forgive me FAO for borrowing from FAO, but FAO is projecting that unless we increase production of food significantly in 2011, we can expect to continue to see increases in prices. A commodity like sugar has experienced prices that have surpassed the 30-year high. Sugar. And people are calling around asking, where can we source sugar? I received a call. Somebody was seeking to source sugar from the Middle East. And the point I'm trying to make is that the world is changing. The world is changing. And in fact, food is becoming of strategic importance. Coupled with the food price issue, you'll be well aware of projections that by 2050 we will have a population of 9 billion globally, and that we will need twice as much food and fiber and feed to meet the demands of that population. And the questions are, where is this food going to come from? Do we have the land and water resources to sustain the production, where we have competing interests? And these are questions that emphasize and wish to make the point that food is no longer something we can take for granted. That it's not something we can leave for others to supply to us, because there may be times in the future when everybody is supplying for themselves. So we have to start building from now our capacity to be able to meet our needs. And it's not just a matter of placing imports with placing imports. It's a matter of it's becoming something that we need to do for survival. And I think that's the message that we need to send. There is a very serious series of developments occurring globally that are going to have serious implications for us in the future. And unless we start to act now, we will find ourselves struggling to meet our food needs. And I think that message in itself, when you turn it on the other side, presents tremendous opportunity for the agricultural sector, the agricultural sector in the region. What it says is that governments are now saying we need to stand up and really pay attention and support the sector. We need to place food security high on the front burner. And we need to send messages that will encourage and will promote actions by governments that not just broad policy statements on paper, but that they back up the statements by providing the necessary support to the agricultural sector, by ensuring that policies that are enunciated are actually backed up by the financial resources, by the institutional support that's necessary to transform, reposition, and develop the agricultural sector. I think that there are tremendous possibilities, and one of my areas that I always seek to promote is the issue of Pan-Caribbean agriculture. That is, agriculture and food security being driven by projects that are based on cross-border investment, that are based on production and market integration, that engage the land resources we have in the Guyanas and the Suriname, with the energy in Trinidad and Tobago, with the markets that we have, niche markets we have for the tourism sector and so on in the OECS and Barbados, the science and technology that we have in other countries across the region. And we marry these resources to regional projects that allow us to really and truly cut in to the agricultural opportunity that's presented to us. Because we will not be able to achieve much of what we seek to do if we continue to work as individual members. So that one of my key messages is the need for us to seriously, as a region, and in this regard, we need to recognize and appreciate the fact that CARICOM has only recently approved a CARICOM regional food and nutrition security policy, and that we need to look at how we can actually give effect to that policy. And part of that policy is the whole issue of looking at establishing priority commodities that we will focus on at the regional level. So there are possibilities, tremendous possibilities, and we need to promote them. And we need to send a message that this is not about just about agriculture being attractive or sexy or newsworthy, but it's about the region surviving in the future. This is an important sector, a sector that is linked to other sectors of the economy more so than any other sector. And you know very well that the measures that we use for looking at the contribution of agriculture sector to GDP, those measures we recognize are not the most appropriate. Agriculture's contribution is much more significant, given the forward and backward linkages. It contributes to value added, the industry, it contributes to the environment, it can contribute to reducing that carbon footprint, it can contribute to natural resource management, watershed protection, it can contribute to our tourism development. There's so much that agriculture can contribute. And we need to recognize those linkages and, as Dr. Chesney indicated, move agriculture and security to a level of decision making. It is not from one ministry, but it is a strategic area of development that we need to move to a level that allows for the collective consideration of cabinets and prime ministers and presidents. This is that important. So I just want to leave those few thoughts with you. It's a pleasure for me to be here. want to thank Dan for having me and giving me this opportunity to say a few words. And I do hope you have a wonderful morning. Thank you very much.